Mass News 11 at 11.
In Springfield, a public forum earlier this evening discussing November's ballot question 2, whether or not the state should eliminate the MCAS as a high school graduation requirement. Welcome everyone to Western Mass News 11 at 11 on this Wednesday. I'm Chris Pisano. Western Mass News reporter Addie Patterson joins us live in studio now with more from tonight's discussion. Addie?
Chris, speakers on both sides of the issue were in attendance for tonight's forum. Organizers of the event tell us discussions like these are important so residents have a better understanding of what they're voting on before heading to the polls this November.
There are strong feelings on both sides. We felt it was an opportunity for people to ask those questions, get better informed, and be informed citizens when they go to the ballot box.
On Wednesday, an informational forum was held in Forest Park discussing November's ballot question 2, eliminating the Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment System as a high school graduation requirement.
If you don't have kids in school, you may not really understand the issue, but you got to vote anyway. And those with kids in school probably have strong feelings, but may not necessarily know all the implications of it. So we're hoping this is an opportunity for them to ask those questions.
The discussion allowing area residents to express their opinions and concerns.
I think it should stay, and that really brings accountability across the schools. And without having MCAS as a graduation requirement, it will be very difficult for schools to really gauge student understanding.
Western Mass News caught up with educator and parent Mehmet Kogel. He tells us having the MCAS graduation requirement helps motivate students inside the classroom.
This requirement really sets the bar high, standards high. It does not really bring a lot of students down.
Kogel adds that with the MCAS requirement, it helps create a whole different realm of possibilities for students.
Having a child in middle school, I really would like my son to, eventually meet this requirement and again have more opportunities down the road for him.
If ballot question 2 does pass, all students would need to complete other coursework given out by the district to demonstrate their academic knowledge. For now, reporting live in studio, Addie Patterson for Western Mass News.
Addie, thank you for that.